Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the private Everlasting server. We are with Liberty Last today. This is our um, invulnerability super strength tanker, and we've completed a mission last time for Alphonse Rubel, and he's giving us two others. One is the scientists of Seraph want more data on the mysterious loss, which I think we've done before, and this one is no one's answering phones over in the office of the Peterson Waste Management today. I've heard a rumor that skulls are in the area. We need you to go over there. He also introduced us to another contact, Athena Curry, who is over here. And we've done her missions before on our martial arts super reflex scrapper, but we sort of have no choice. At this level, there are only certain story arcs available. Um, we can also do other missions for the detectives. We finished with Vic Johansson, and Shauna Stockwell is just going to give us a Superior ring, which I've done on two other characters. Not this one, but um, the Scrapper and the Stalker. So I'm going to try to skip that one for this character, just because I don't need to do the same thing on every single character. And so for Athena Curry, Boys and Data want us to use an EMP glove on the Clockworks, or according to sources, a Clockwork assembler prince named Gear is dealing with an abandoned office, and we need to stop Gears. So we got two guys, Gears and Skulls, and one's right here in Steel Canyon, so we'll go ahead and do that one. And this is the only character of the three main ones that I've been playing, the Scrapper, Stalker, and Tanker. Notice they're all melee. Yes, that's my favorite way to play in this game. This is the only character who is a flyer. The other two are using super jump. Flight is not as fast as super jump, especially when super jump gets into the higher levels. It's really, really quick. But super jump requires you to hop from building to building and rooftop to rooftop and use some geometry to get where you want to go, whereas flight, you just hit the space bar and go up. And you can just sort of, and the X bar to go down, the X button to go down, and you can just sort of fly straight there. And you can even hit various other, like the numlock key I have bound to auto run, which is also auto fly. I should load my new binds, and this puts my chat into the Daybreak initiative, which is the so I'm going to say hello, because somebody said testing, and I'm going to warn them. So they know. They should know, because I'm one of the reasons I had to do this, warning people who I was in the global chat of the United. If you've watched my Scrapper, if you've watched the earlier videos of this when my Scrapper was in the United, is because the rules of the United were that you had to change your Discord name to your character name. In the Daybreak Initiative, which is my current supergroup for that Scrapper, I asked them if they wanted me to do that. They said, we don't care. So on the Daybreak Initiative, I'm known as Scrapperlock/Silver Phoenix, so people should know who Scrapperlock is if they're paying any attention in the Discord. Though not everybody probably is. I'm not good with people's globals either, necessarily. Katana Kitten. Okada Kitten. Kitten's the one who was kidnapped in the roleplay session. True name. Alright, so what we're doing is we're looking for 5 hostages that we have to save. And this is an office map, so as I've said in the Scrapper videos, this means it could be up to 5 levels. And we have some pretty good offense here for a tanker. We got 3 attacks. So we got a pretty decent attack chain already for a tanker. A lot of tankers, as I've said in previous videos, a lot of tankers... Oh, that was a mistake. I'm used to playing my Stalker, who has Reconstruction, which recharges every, like, 48 seconds. I forgot this one takes, like, 3 or 4 minutes to recharge. As I've said in my previous videos, a lot of players of tankers choose to forgo their attacks at this low level so they can get their defenses in. I have not done that. I have some defenses, but I also made sure to have some attacks, because for soloing you definitely want to be able to do some damage, otherwise it just takes forever. Now I hear a glowy. Sounds like it might be upstairs. And there we go. As you can see, we actually do some pretty good damage. At this level, it's not so bad. Now the problem is it doesn't really scale. So at the higher levels, as these guys start getting more, as the villains start getting more hit points and more resistance, the tanker attacks just don't really keep up, the low-level ones, but we do some decent damage. Yeah, theoretically about as well as a Dominator. At least a Dominator when the domination isn't going. And so, it's not too bad. Now I still hear this glowy. Where is it? I don't know. It's getting louder. Is there a bomb in here or something? So I'm gonna say, so what were you testing? My guess is he was testing the channel shortcut, this kind of thing, where I hit I and it just puts in all this for me. Wow, missing a lot. Look at that. Just constantly missing. What's my chance to hit this thing? 88% chance to hit, and I'm missing like 2 and 3 times in a row. Wow. Alright. Where is the glowy? Sounds like it's right over here. There's nothing in here glowing. Ah, there's a bomb, I see. Why didn't it tell me to disable bombs? That's weird. Yeah, there's no other text. It's not like there's text that ran off the screen or something. That's really weird. So if I hadn't disarmed the bomb, what would have happened? Would it have just let me complete the mission? That's very bizarre. Okay, so we got another skull here, no problem. We get through an attack chain, we actually do a pretty good job. Let's count. With the Scrapper, you can take him out in about 4 hits. Tanker, let's see, 1, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not too bad. 6 hits. It was about 8 attacks because I missed twice, but make sure the channel was working for me on this test tank. So he's got a test character and he's testing it. Alright, we got some more skulls over here. Now, like my Stalker, I'm not doing anything to prevent the tank from leveling. We do have Ouroboros, if necessary, to do story arcs if I want to do them. And unlike the Scrapper, who's like experiencing everything first, now that I've experienced this stuff with that character, I don't need to make sure I experience every little thing with this one. Not quite the same, but one of the things I am going to do is I'm absolutely going to go into Croatoa with either this character or my Stalker. I'm not sure which one. Not both. Croatoa is really more appropriate for magic characters, and for whatever reason, the 3 character concepts that have led to the characters I want to play the most are all natural. I do have a magic character, but she's a villain, and so she won't be seeing the Croatoa content. So, you know, I'll have to figure out which character I think belongs in Croatoa. The Stalker is doing more of the twin shot story arc line with the Shining Star NPC supergroup, and as a result, I think there may be enough to carry her through. And if those stories continue throughout the leveling, I don't know if they will. I mean, I know there's a guy that follows Twin Shot, and I'm already on his story arc, although I haven't done much with it yet because I'm still finishing Twin Shot's second arc. If that continues into the higher levels, then I will do that with her, and I will do Croatoa with this character. Also, my scrapper never even went into Dark Astoria. I think there's storylines in there too, so I'm just gonna have to, I don't know, play it by ear and see what I end up doing. Here, another glowy. So there's another bomb here. It's really weird that it isn't telling me I have to disarm the bombs. And there's still 5 hostages to find and save. Come on. I do like that these things do knockdown, so it does help with some soft control. I don't really have a huge plan for what pool powers I'm going to get this character other than hover at some point. Probably level 14 or 18 or something, I'll get hover for her. We already have Unyielding, which is one of the most important powers. We definitely want to get Invincibility, but I don't think that's available to level 18 or something, or 20. So we want to definitely get that. We're going to need Taunt and Hand Clap as soon as they're available. I think Taunt's already available, so we're going to need that, but we probably want to get at least a little more defense in before we start using Taunt, right? Because you got to have your defenses in before you pull everybody to you in a group, right? Or else you're just going to get pounded. So he's saying it's shocking how many hero names are still free. A lot of mine, like Liberty Lass, right? I don't like the dash in her name, but get us out of here. But I don't have to lead him out. Now there was a glowy sound over here somewhere. Yep. There. I do like the spinny thing for Unyielding. So I'm going to say to these guys, because he's saying only one of mine was taken, my most important was this one, and it was scarfed up the first day, so I had to use a dash. Alright, let's see. Where else have we been? Up this way, right? Definitely going to want build up for this character, but it's going to come in later. Rage, that comes in toward the end, like level 28 or something. So we can't even do that for a while. Alright. Yeah, I've been really struggling to figure out who I want to put on this, who else I want to put on the supergroup. As I've said in the Grenja videos, I feel like Grenja's perhaps more appropriate for this team, which is more reluctant to kill rather than code against killing, the way Liberty Lass has. But on the other hand, Liberty Lass as a tanker is a much better fit for any group because she does so much better on a team, whereas the Stalkers do just fine by themselves. You know, it's much harder to do a tanker solo because you don't do a lot of damage, and actually the whole point of your character, which is mitigating the damage to others, is not coming into play when you're playing by yourself, right? So that means one way or another this character needs to get onto a team, a super team, whether that's this group or a different group. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure I want to get into more than one guild either, just because it's just so much. It takes so much effort to stay caught up with just what's going on in a single guild. When you start talking about multiple guilds and trying to keep up on everything, it's a lot of overhead just mentally to deal with all of what's going on in every single guild if you're in multiple guilds. That, to me, can be a bit rough. Now, this is interesting. Oh no, there's a stairway here. I was going to say, is there any way up? Because I know there's room up on those balconies for bad guys and stuff. But, didn't remember that there was a stairway there. I'm like, well, how would you get up there if you didn't have a movement power? But there is a way up. So this is a little slow, guys, because she's a tanker, but it's not too bad, actually. I feel like it's not too much worse than, I mean, obviously these guys would all already be down if it was a scrapper, but it's not too terrible. 2 of the 3 are down, and it's going pretty well. We have our attacks in. I'm not just standing there waiting for Brawl to recharge, the way I would be doing, you know, if I hadn't taken these other powers. And when we get to level 12, since we already have our movement power, we can easily go ahead and, let's see if there's anybody up here. No. We can easily go ahead and take another defensive power, probably temporary invulnerability. So now we have some trouble here because I want to make sure I don't aggro too much. Again, tanker, but we don't have our defenses in yet. So I'm going to stay all the way up and then drop down on them so that I don't aggro the guys underneath, right? Because there's orange lieutenants down there. And I don't want to deal with all of that at once. Again, I'm a tanker, but we don't have our defenses in yet. Okay. Oh, I thought that would finish her, but there we go. Got some nice enhancements. Recharges might be helpful. For dull pain, not sure. Let's finish this person off and then we'll figure it out. Okay. Get us out of here, yeah, but I don't have to lead them out. Okay, so dull pain. So for right now, eventually we're going to put heals in here, but for right now, I'm just going to keep pummeling this with recharge enhancers because I want to max out the recharge as much as I can. And also at level 12 we're going to be getting dual origin enhancers. So we're going to need a couple 100,000 influence for that. What do we have? Almost 1 million, so we're good. Alright, so we've disarmed a couple bombs. We've rescued a couple of people. There's another hallway here, but first we got some guys down here to deal with. So let's start with the minion. And the Lieutenant Sauce, of course. Lots of girl skulls. I've said this on the Scrapper playthrough. When this game launched, and for many years afterwards, I don't know when this was changed, there were no girl skulls or Hellions at all. In fact, my very first character, whose name was Fractal, the concept of our supergroup was that they were ex-villains who were given a second chance by, like, basically told you can either go to jail or you can serve your time by being a superhero and fighting crime, and they said, okay, fine, we'll fight crime. And so Fractal was an ex-villain, and because I had only played the tutorial, like, I'd only played the first, like, 10 levels in closed beta, I didn't know any of the other factions, so I decided, okay, she's an ex-Hellion. Right? And then I started playing the game and I realized there are no girl Hellions. So it really almost conceptually doesn't fit. But it turns out, now there aren't any girl Hellions, but there are now girl skulls. I don't think there are female Hellions, though. Now one of the things with the tanker is the little bit of extra hit points that these mobs get for being +1 to me, that really makes you have to swing that many more times. What was that, like 9 hits or something, 10 to take out a yellow, whereas a scrapper would do it in maybe 5. So it really, and then like lieutenants and stuff, your damage doesn't scale very well. And you can't crit. A scrapper would be having a very high chance of critting here. Not gonna bother with dull pain at this point because I'm gonna have to rest. Things are doing pretty well though. We're going along. We're almost level 12. Probably gonna pick a temporary vulnerability next. And maybe hover at level 14. Then maybe level 16 we can grab resist elements, 18 invincibility, which has a taunt built into it. And then 20 we can hit hand clap and 22 taunt or something like that, not really sure. We've got to remember very soon to start slotting swift health and stamina as well from the fitness pool, which are inherents. Now something you can turn on, I actually haven't played with this yet. Let's try it. One of the things you can do in the options, I think now, in the Homecoming stuff, look at the options. Prompts. Tooltips. Classic Team UI, we want that. Hide contact icons, show all enhancements. I thought there was, maybe in Windows, there was an option now for enabling a countdown. Maybe it hasn't been put live yet. I guess it hasn't been put live yet. There's going to be an option to, like, say on a power like dull pain, you click it, and then it'll say like 92 seconds or whatever, and then it'll count down for you so you know exactly how many seconds you have before it comes back. And I mean, obviously you can do it on all your powers, not just dull pain. And I thought they had put that live, but I guess it's not live yet. Either that or I'm not figuring out where to look for it, or maybe it's a command line to turn it on rather than a chat window option. I'm not really sure. And we've leveled up. And there's a skull. There's still 3 more hostages, and I feel like we're getting toward like the end of this level. I'm not sure where the other hostages would be. There's one. And there's a bomb in here, clearly. But I can't imagine there's 2 more hostages in here. I must have missed somebody somewhere. Ah, yes, over here, probably. It's alright. Found a clue. And the clue says they tried to force us to take Superidine. Yep. Oh, and there's a boss. Alright. We're going to need some buffing here because he's going to debuff me. Fortunately, we're level 12 now, so that gives me +1 to him, so it makes hitting him easier. It makes my damage relative to his hit points better and all of that. How can I be so strong? I have super strength, honey. I am Liberty Lass. And there's another guy. So we've arrested Skullbuster, we just gotta save 2 hostages, and it's still not telling me anything about the bombs. which is really strange. There should be at least one more hostage up here, but no. But there's a bomb up here. This is really weird that they have all these bombs, and it's not telling you that there are bombs to disarm. It's a good thing my 16-year-old high school student character knows how to disarm bombs, or things would blow up. So there's nobody around here in the cubicles or anything. So there's 2 missing hostages. There's nobody in here. So there's more over here, it looks like. In here, maybe. Nope. There's got to be somebody in some of these rooms here. Yeah. Down here, maybe? There usually isn't anybody down here. Nope. Over this way. Ah. Maybe over here? No. There's usually somebody in here, too. I don't know. What am I missing? Oh, I bet there's a hallway over here. That I missed. No? No, it doesn't look like it. Huh. Could they be on the other level? I mean, I guess so. I don't see anybody here. This is... I guess I just suck at finding stuff, because this happens to me all the time in this game. Where there are hostages somewhere, and they're off in some little corner that's the only part of the map that I didn't explore. But there's nobody here. Let's try this other level. There's only 2 floors, so where would there... I can't imagine there's so much unexplored space here that there are 2 hostages that I didn't find. And there's nobody in the corners where there usually are hostages. No, I want to stay in here. I mean, these corners are often where you find guys, but there isn't anybody there. Did I look in this room? I thought I did. Yep, there's nobody here either. Guys, I don't know. We might have to just abandon this mission, because I do not know. Oh, there's somebody. Alright, so there's somebody. There's one of them, at least. I thought I came over here. This is the problem with these MC Escher maps, too, is everything looks the same. So, you've been on one balcony, it looks like all the other balconies. And you think you've been there, and you haven't. Wait. Okay, check the video. I could have sworn it said there were 2 guys to rescue still. So I'm going to actually have to go back and rewatch this video, but I thought there were still 2 to rescue. Maybe I was reading that wrong. It said 1. Alright, let's talk to Alphonse Rubel. And then he's got another mission for us. We can go to King's Row and show the skulls they can't pick on Paragon's businesses, or we can get a lead on the abandoned warehouse where the skulls are storing their superidine. So that's Atlas Park, and so is the other one. So we can go ahead and go to Atlas Park. There's a bunch of enhancements I could theoretically sell, but I've got to level up first. So let's see, let's go to the train station. We'll just take the north train station because it's right here. And we'll head to Atlas Park. Wow, look how close these buildings are. Like they're actually touching each other. Yikes. I don't think they usually build stuff like that. Alright, so we're going to go into Atlas Park. And we're going to level up and sell these enhancements. And then we're going to need to do some dual origins, to buy some dual origins. So this is going to probably be the rest of this episode. We probably won't do another mission. But let's go ahead and level up. It's right here. Man, I remember being level 12 and like really wanting to get to 14 so I could get my movement power back in the old days, because you couldn't get something like flight this early. Alright, so level 12, Miss Liberty. Train me up to a new level of power. So we can get taunt. So this is a passive, this is a passive, this is a toggle. 10%, 10% defense. So these both have 10% resistance, and we'd have resistance to everything if we got these. We could get taunt, but it's too early for that. I think I'm going to grab temporary invulnerability. We're probably not going to use it all the time, but we will use it some of the time. I'm going to put it up here because it's not going to stay on all the time the way Unyielding does. And now we can get dual origin enhancements. Now, I feel like you don't need to go to the other stores anymore, that these guys will actually sell them to you, but I could be wrong. Let's see. Yeah. They will sell dual origin enhancements to me, so let's see what we need. I'm not going to worry about money because we have another character we can, get money from. I do have some salvage that I can toss off. Like this thing will probably get us quite a bit of money. The alien blood sample. So let's go to Wentworth's and sell some things. We're not making any inventions right now. We already have 39 of 150, but so we got tons of room, but we're going to run out eventually. By level 25 or so, you run out. Alright, so let's go ahead, and I sold some heavy water. Let's go ahead and see what we can get for this. So the way I do this is I hit find, and it tells me that the last 5 or 6 purchases were for around 400 to 500,000. So I'm going to sell this for 300,000. And I'll just post it. And it should sell immediately, and it sold for 500. So there we go. So I have 1.3 million now. So now we can get all the dual origin enhancements that we want. And unlike the original game where you had to get level 15 or 20 dual origins, you had to go to Steel Canyon. In this game, you can go to any store. In this version of the game, you can go to any store. So we come right on back here to the longbow store over here. This longbow agent, right? The guys who are wearing this color, these are the longbows. And we can get what we want. So let's take a look. First of all, let's look at our ID. We'll see exactly how much it costs to trick us out. We have 1.3 million influence. And look at our enhancements. What we need is 3 damage resistance here, and probably an endurance here. Actually, I don't know. Like, it's definitely worth getting. Let's get the attacks. We want an accuracy. Maybe we should do 2 accuracies on each one of these. Let's do an accuracy in each one and damages. So we need 5 damage and 3 accuracy. So let's start with that. Level 15 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3 accuracy. Okay. So we can rip these out, and we're going with dual origin enhancements now. I wish there's a way to just like select all, you know, like right click to select all, delete. Okay. So all of our attacks have now gone to an accuracy of 1.19, right? So 19%, 20%-ish of 7.75 is about 15. So we'd have like a 90% chance to hit everything. And then our damage gets much better as well. I turned off the confirmation thing. Well, it doesn't really matter. So now our damage has gone from doing 11 damage to 16 for this one, going 17 to 24, and going from 28 to 33 damage. Now for dull pain, I think we're going to put 4 recharges on this. Again, not the heals, because we want to get as much recharging as we can. So we're going to have 4 recharges on this. Now the thing with the resist damage business is that, so temporary invulnerability, if we look at this, is 30% resistance. And the resistance buffs are 10% each, right? It means each one gives you 3% more. So you put 3 of them on here, you'd end up with 39% instead of 30% resistance. That's good. If you do this with resist physical, all it's going to do with 3 slots is bring me from 10 to 13. I don't know that it's worth at this point, especially since I have temporary invulnerability already. It gets me to 39, this gets me to 49. I don't know that it's worth putting dual origins, like spending the money on dual origins. If we find them, we'll put them in. Now, dull pain, it's totally worth putting recharge on this because that'll get us from 6 minutes down to like 4.5. Unyielding gives us only 5% or 10% resistance to things. So I think we're going to put endurance reducers on unyielding and temporary invulnerability, recharges and dull pain, and that's going to be it. So 4 recharge and 2 endurance reducers. So there's 2 endurance reducers, 1, 2. And where's recharge? Right there. Okay. So unyielding will go from 0.26 to 0.22 endurance. Temporary vulnerability will do the same. So we're going to save ourselves about 1/10 of an endurance every second, or 0.08, right? Yeah, about 1/10. Now recharge. Dull pain goes from 6 minutes to 3 minutes and 24 seconds. That is not bad. So now why did I do 4 here? Normally you only do 3 of one. That's for single origin, because sort of the max you can have is essentially 100% bonus. And 3 single origins will get you to 100% bonus, but dual origins, it takes like 6 of them, so you can put all of those in here. So we're going to go ahead and leave this way. Our next level, we're going to slot Haymaker and Temporary Invulnerability. We're going to start slotting that out, and so forth. But for now, we're going to be much more effective. And so in the next episode, you'll see how this character plays with dual origin enhancements. We had 1.5 million, right? We're now down to 1.2. So it only cost us about, what, 400,000 to do that? That's really not that bad. In fact, we got so much money. We've got enough for our for level 22 already that I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and grab a fly speed. Where is that? There. And go ahead and speed up our flight, because we have so much money, so much influence at this point, that we can go ahead and... Whoops, let's pull this out. And now our flight speed is pretty good. We're now 117% flight speed. The other thing I wanted to do, because you can monitor stuff... No, not that. Here. We can monitor stuff. Let's go ahead and monitor the damage resistance. So there's smashing, lethal, fire, cold, energy. Can we monitor any more than that? Negative energy. Oh, good. Psionic. And toxic. So there's our resistances. Can we also monitor defense? See, I don't know. It's going to be too hard to do because defense is all those different types. Let's just monitor our resistance. So right now we have 10% of each. If we turn on unyielding, what do we get? 10% everything but psionic. Notice that's the hole. And then we turn on, and 15% to smashing and lethal, and then we turn on temporary vulnerability. What's our resistance now to smashing and lethal? 45%, unenhanced. Right? So that's pretty darn good. So now we're at a point where smashing and lethal will do very little to us, and now we can finally start being sort of a tank. And what we're going to do is we will do that in the next episode. So I hope you've enjoyed, and in the next episode we're going to start working on some of these missions, and you'll see how it works when we have an enhanced tanker with temporary invulnerability.